Number 2A, and welcome to a lesson on data graphing and representation. If you missed the notes the other day, this will help you get started, especially for the project you will be doing. So make sure you pay attention. If you want to write some of this down, that can be very helpful, or refer to this video. Okay, so first off, we're going to be representing data in three ways. The first way is a stem and leaf plot. You should have seen these in the past. The directions to make a stem and leaf plot are here, 1, 2, 3, 4. First, you want to organize the data from smallest to largest. I already did that for you. How nice. But you want to be sure to do that. It's just very helpful moving forward. The next step is to design a key. And what the key does is it gives the reader of the table an idea as to what your stem and leaf plot represents. So if this 5-2 is what is in your stem and leaf plot, people looking at your chart would know that's a number 52. To design a stem and leaf plot, it's pretty easy. It's just a little old T. You'll have your stem and you'll have your leaf. You want to start typically at 0, and you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so forth. Now, we only are going to be going up to 30, so we really don't even need 4 and 5. Now remember, the stems kind of represent the tens digit. Okay, as for the leaves then, for this first bunch, it's going to be 0, 1, 5, 7, and 9. 1, 5, 7, and 9. So that's what it would look like. For the next part, we'd have 11, 15, 15. So 1-1 is 11, then 15, then 15. 20, we're going to have to 0, there's 20, 1, 24, 26, 28, let me move my calculator, 29 and 29. And then lastly, we have 30 and 32. Okay. Stem and leaf plots are helpful in that by looking at it, you can kind of see what group has the most people. Now, if you had to find the median of your stem and leaf plot, let's say you're just given a stem and leaf, what would the median be? Well, you would start from one direction and kind of work your way backwards. You could also rewrite everything. But by just repeating the process, you would have to take 20 plus 21 and divide it by 2, and you get 20.5. But general stem and leaf plot, that's how you go about that. Now for histograms, we're going to use the same data and create a histogram. A histogram is basically just a bar graph. Okay. Now what we do with histograms is we create intervals. So I will always start you with an interval, and I'll tell you how big it should be. So we're going to say use intervals of size 5, starting at 0. Now when I say use intervals of size 5, that means in our table, if we start at 0, the next jump's going to be 5. Okay, and then 10, and then 15. Between each interval, I'm adding 5, and 20, and 25. Okay, where the interval ends is just the number right before. So this is going to be 0 to 4. This would be 5 to 9, to 14, to 19, to 24, and to 29. I think we'll need one more interval since I have 30s. So we'll just add that in here. So 30 to 34. Once you have the intervals made, you just look back through your data and you create a tally or the frequency as to what numbers lie in that range. So 0 through 4, I just have the number 1. That's the only one, so just one tally. 5 through 9, well, 5, 7, and 9 are 5 through 9. 10 through 14 is just the number 11. 15 to 19, just the 15s. 20 to 24, there's 3 items. 25 to 29, there's 4. And then 30 to 34, there's 2. So that is the frequency. It's just a tally of the number of times those are repeated. I think it can be helpful to write out the actual number then, as we are going to get to graphing. Okay, so we've made our intervals, we tallied the data. Now we're just going to design our graph. Below, on the x-axis, is where the intervals will be. And we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 intervals. So we'll do our best to space them out. 2, 3, 4. I'll have to make them all 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this would represent 0 to 4. This is going to be 5 to 9. This interval is 10 to 14, 15 to 19, 20 to 24, and then 25 to 29, and lastly 30 to 34. On the other axis, we're going to have the frequency. Okay, frequency. That looks pretty sloppy. I'm going to write it a little better here for us. Okay. And the frequency are just those numbers. 1, 2, and so forth. So I'll make it a little bigger here. This will be 1. I'll make this be 2, 3. We really just need to go up to 4. So from 0 to 4, we have our little box of 1. Then we go up to 3. Okay. Then we go back to 1. And we go to 2. You don't have to box it off like I'm doing, but I think it makes it look nice. Then back to 3. 4. And then 2. Okay, I like to also kind of dash in every other one. You don't have to. Use some colors, make it nice and exciting. And that's really the idea of a histogram. Okay, so intervals, you should never have gaps in between your intervals unless it is 0. So no gaps, put them all right next to each other. Our last skill here, data representation, is using a box and whisker plot. You will need the graphing calculator for this. Okay, so here's the graphing calculator. Now down below I have some directions for you, and you should have this page. To make a box and whisker plot, you need something known as the 5-number summary. To get the 5-number summary, you're going to easily put the data into your calculator or the app that you have that's similar. So let's look at the steps down below here. First, hit stat. Stat is right here. Okay, so stat. Go to edit and just hit 1. If you have data up in your list, if you have data there, hit the up arrow and clear, and then hit enter, and that will wipe it out. Up arrow, clear, enter. Once your data is empty, you can enter in our values. We're going to use 1, 5, 7, 9, 11, 15, another 15, 20, 21, 24, 26, 28, 2 bunches of 29, 30, and 32. Okay, the data is entered. Next, find the 5-number summary. We're going to go back to Stat, hit the arrow over to Calc, and hit 1var stats. Then you might have to hit enter a few times. Now, some stuff at this window. So we haven't noticed the 5-number summary just yet. If you'd like to notice, the bar with the X, that is the mean. That's the average, if you ever want to find that through the calculator. The 5-number summary starts at the minimum. So we're looking at the minimum, Q1, the median, Q3, and the max. Our summary is 1, 10, 20.5, 28.5, and 32. That is our 5-number summary. The interquartile range, that is Q3 minus Q1. So 28.5 minus 10. So that's 18.5. The box and whisker plot, once you have your 5-number summary, is very easy because the only things you're plotting are those 5 numbers. So on the box and whisker, I know I need to go up to 30. I'll make every tick mark. I think 2 will work. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so forth. In the middle of the graph is kind of where we'll start things. So we're going to first plot the minimum, which is at 1. Okay, so that's the minimum. Next, we'll plot Q1, and that's at 10. So right here is Q1. Now, at the quartiles, we're going to start our box. So we'll actually put a dash there. Then we'll go to the median, 20.5, about there. It wouldn't need to be perfect. And again, we'll make another line. And that's our median. And then 28.5 is Q3. And between Q1 and Q3 is the box. So there's our box. The whiskers go from the minimum to Q1, and we still have to plot the maximum right there, and so forth. The key thing with box and whiskers, so that's really it, is it breaks data up into 25%. So this part here is 25% of the data. This next part is 25%. The ends are 25%. Okay? Keystone and other questions like to try and trick you. But no matter what the box and whisker plot looks like, it is always broken up that way. Therefore, even if you have a really big box and tiny whiskers, it's still 25, 25, 25, 25. Even if you have a lot of whiskers and a little box. 25, 25, and so forth. So be aware of those. Again, your graphing calculator, when it comes to plotting these things, make sure you come back, you watch this video, and you just do your best on the project. Nice job, guys.